agreement from the then Iraqi government that would
Have a little look at the presidential debate in VR chat.
give that.
Let's have a little look.
Let's talk about the question you asked, Lester. The question you asked is, what do we do here in the United States? That's the most important part of this. How do we prevent attacks? How do we protect our people? And I think we've got to have an intelligence surge where we are looking for every scrap of information. I was so proud of law enforcement in New York, in Minnesota, in New Jersey. You know, they responded so quickly, so professionally to the attacks that occurred by Rahami, and they brought him down. And we may find out more information because he is still alive, which may prove to be an intelligence benefit. So we've got to do everything we can to vacuum up intelligence from Europe, from the Middle East. That means we've got to work more closely with our allies. And that's something that Donald has been very dismissive of. We're working with NATO, the longest military alliance in the history of the world, to really turn our attention to terrorism. We're working with our friends in the Middle East, many of which, as you know, are Muslim-majority nations. Donald has consistently insulted Muslims abroad, Muslims at home.
I see she's wearing red.
Cooperating with Muslim nations and with the American Muslim community. They're on the front lines. They can provide information to us that we might not get anywhere else.
Tomatoes,
we have close working cooperation with law enforcement in these communities, not be alienated and pushed away, as some of Donald's rhetoric, unfortunately, has led to.
Mr. Well, I have to respond.
Please respond.
The Secretary said very strongly about working with. We've been working with them for many years. And we have the greatest mess anyone's ever seen. You look at the Middle East, it's a total mess. Under your direction to a large extent. But you look at the Middle East, you started the Iran deal. That's another beauty where you have a country that was ready to fall. I mean, they were doing so badly. They were choking on the sanctions, and now they're going to be actually probably...
I always thought it was Muslim.
But when you look at NATO, I would ask them to but I have common sense. And it's many of them aren't paying their fair share. Number two, and that bothers me because we should be asked, we're defending them, and they should be paying us what they're supposed to be paid by treaty and
Got
culture.
a tomato.
And number two, I said very strongly,
They're taking it serious.
because, and I was very strong on this, and it was actually kind of very
I
accurate.
think I was sitting on Pikachu there. It's like, I apologize.
But I said they do not focus on terror.
I think
I
so.
was very strong, and I said it
Someone a
numerous times,
tomato.
and about 4
Is
months
Hillary a
ago, on the
synth?
front page of the Wall Street Journal,
Oh, somebody's a tomato, I think, in here.
terror division. And I think that's great. And I think we
Who reckons Trump's winning? Who reckons Clinton's winning?
It's hard to say.
We're all losing.
We're losing.
Yeah, America's losing.
China after 2016.
They haven't gotten in a fist fight yet, so I'm happy.
What are these boost labs that they speak about?
I think we have to get NATO to go
The
into
non-whiteys?
with us in addition to surrounding nations, and we have to knock the hell out of ISIS. We have to do it fast. When ISIS formed in this vacuum created by Barack Obama and Secretary Clinton, and believe me, you were the ones that took out the troops. Not only that, you named the day. They couldn't believe it. They sat back probably and said, "I can't believe it." They said, "No, wait a minute. When they formed, this is something that never should have happened. It should have never happened." Now you're talking about taking out ISIS, but you were there and you were Secretary of State when it was a little infant. Now it's in over 30 countries, and you're going to stop them? I don't think so.
Mr. Trump, a lot of these are
Well, his hands are really small.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is a mainstream media nonsense put out by her because she, frankly, I think the best person in her campaign.
A mainstream media nonsense.
Would you like to hear? I was against.
That's something.
Wait a minute. I was against the war in Iraq. Just so you put it out.
The record
And
shows
the
otherwise.
record
Why
does not show that.
because you're
The record shows that I'm right.
Wow.
In an interview with Howard Stern, very likely.
She's a synth.
Asked me that. I said, very likely, I don't know, maybe, who knows? Essentially. I then did an interview with...
First time I heard them talk about Howard Stern on the debates.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't go baba booey, baba booey.
Everybody refuses to call Sean Hannity. I had numerous conversations with Sean Hannity at Fox, and Sean Hannity said...
Babbling, this is a drink, right?
He told me the other day, and I spoke to him about it. He said you were totally against war because he was for the war.
Why is your judgment better than...
And that was before the war started. Sean Hannity said very strongly to me and other people, he's willing to say, but nobody wants to call him, I was against the war. He said, you used to have fights with me because Sean was in favor of the war. And I understand that side also, not very much, because we should have never been there. But nobody calls Sean Hannity. And then they did an article in a major magazine shortly after the war started, I think in 04, but they did an article which had me totally against the war in Iraq. And one of your compatriots said, you know, whether it was before or right after, Trump was different, because if you read this article, there's no doubt. But if somebody, and I'll ask the press, if somebody would call up Sean Hannity, this was before the war started, he and I used to have arguments about the war. I said it's a terrible and a stupid thing. It's going to destabilize the Middle East, and that's
Inspector
exactly what
Gadget.
it's done. It's
My
been a disaster.
reference was to what you said in 2002.
Okay.
My
Was it
question
chicken?
was, why is your judgment any different than Mrs. Clinton?
Well, I have much better judgment than she does. There's no question about that. I also have a much better temperament than she has. You know?
Wow.
She spent...
What?
She spent...
Look at that shooting grin. Look at that.
Oh man.
An advertising in Madison Avenue into a room they put naval temperament. Let's go after... I think my strongest asset, maybe by far, is my temperament. I have a winning temperament.
Scaring me, Cass. Her beef sucks.
CIO the other day.
Wait.
I am winner.
I don't know who you were talking to, Secretary Clinton. You were totally out of
AFL-CIO.
Oh my goodness.
with a temperament that's got a problem.
Secretary Clinton.
Okay.
Woo! Woo!
Let's talk about two important issues that
So, anyone get Bingo yet?
by Donald. First, NATO. You know,
I'm
NATO
pretty
is
sure
a major
somebody,
alliance.
there must be almost a full board bingo.
Basically, it says this: an attack on one is an attack on all. And do you know the only time it's ever been
Did he advertise Trump Hotel?
after 9/11?
No, he did not.
In the 28 nations
That was a stretch, that one.
said that they would go to Afghanistan with us to fight terrorism, something that they still are doing by our side. With respect to Iran, when I became Secretary of State, Iran was weeks away from having enough nuclear material to form a bomb. They had mastered the nuclear fuel cycle under the Bush administration. They had built covert facilities. They had stocked them with centrifuges that were whirling away. And we had sanctioned them. I voted for every sanction against Iran when I was in the Senate, but it wasn't enough. So I spent a year and a half putting together a coalition that included Russia and China to impose the toughest sanctions on Iran. And we did drive them to the negotiating table. And my successor, John Kerry, and President Obama got a deal that put a lid on Iran's nuclear program without firing a single shot. That's diplomacy. That's coalition building. That's working with other nations. The other day, I saw Donald saying that there were some Iranian sailors on a ship in the waters off of Iran, and they were talking to American sailors who were on a nearby ship. He said, you know,
Just gonna mention
it's
Gaddafi.
our
Think just gonna mention
sailors,
Gaddafi.
I'd blow them out of the water and
We
start
came,
a war.
we
That's
saw,
not
he
good
died.
judgment. That is not the right temperament to be commander-in-chief. To be... And the worst
Feel so
part
sorry for
is
Gaddafi.
Donald say
Really,
has
dude?
been about
My
nuclear
goodness.
weapons. He has said repeatedly that he didn't care if other nations got nuclear weapons. Japan, South Korea, even Saudi Arabia. It has been the policy of the United States, Democrats and Republicans, to do everything we could to reduce the proliferation of nuclear weapons. He even said, well, you know, there were nuclear war in the East Asia. Well, you know, that's fine. You know, have a good time, folks. And in fact, his cavalier troubling. That is the number one threat we face in the world, and it becomes particularly threatening if terrorists ever get their hands on any nuclear material. So a man who can be provoked by a tweet should not have his fingers anywhere near the nuclear codes, as far as I think anyone with any sense about this should be concerned.
That line's getting a little bit old, I must say. Listen,
It's a good one,
I
though.
would like-
Oh, she went there.
Yep, yep.
It's not inaccurate. So I just want to give a lot of things and just to respect. I agree with her on
Stay right there.
the single greatest problem the world has is nuclear armament, nuclear weapons. Not global warming like you think and your president thinks. Nuclear is the single greatest threat. Just to go down the list, we defend Japan, we defend Germany, we defend South Korea, we defend Saudi Arabia, we defend countries. They do not pay us, but they should be paying us because we are providing tremendous service and we're losing a fortune. That's why we're losing. We lose on everything. I say, who makes these? We lose on everything. Well, I say, and it's very possible that if they don't pay a fair share, because this isn't 40 years ago where we could do what we're doing. We can't defend Japan, a behemoth selling us cars by the million.
We need to move on.
Right, but it's very important. All I said was they may have to defend themselves or they have to help us out. We're a country that owes $20 trillion. They have to help us out.
Our
As far as the nuclear is concerned, I disagree. It is the single greatest threat that this country has.
Which leads me to the question as we enter our last segment here on still on the subject of securing America on nuclear weapons. President Obama reportedly considered changing the nation's long-standing policy on first use. Do you support the current policy? You have 2 minutes.
Well, I have to say that, for what Secretary Clinton was saying about nuclear with Russia, she's very cavalier in the way she talks about various countries. But Russia's been expanding. They have much newer capability than we do. We have not been updating from the new standpoint. I looked the other night, I was seeing B-52s. They're old enough that your father and your grandfather could be flying them. We are not keeping up with other countries. I would like to.
Spider-Man didn't want it to mom.
I would certainly not do first strike. I think that once the nuclear alternative happens, it's over. At the same time, we have to do
Fucking nukes.
Because you look at some of these countries, you look at North Korea, we're doing nothing there. China should solve that problem for us. China should go into North Korea. China is totally powerful as it relates to North Korea.
Hope you're enjoying this little bit
China.
between two fucking
Iran is one of their
elites.
Iran has power over North Korea. And
I am.
that horrible deal with Iran, they
Talk about North Korea that they get killed in like seconds. Bigger.
to North Korea, and they should have done something with respect to Yemen and all these other places. And when asked to Secretary Kerry, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you add other things into the deal? One of the great giveaways of all
Playing
time,
with Donald.
including $400 million in cash.
I want to see
Nobody else
Hillary.
seen that before. That turned out to be wrong.
Cynthia.
$1.7 billion in cash. Obviously, I guess, for the hostages, it certainly looks that way. So you say to yourself, why didn't they make the right deal? This is one of the worst deals ever made by any country in history. The deal with Iran will lead to nuclear problems. All they have to do is sit back 10 years, and they don't have to do much, and they're going to end up getting nuclear. I met with Bibi Netanyahu the other day. Believe me, he is not a happy camper.
All right. Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, you have 2 minutes.
Let me start by saying words matter. Words matter when you run for president, and they really matter when you are president. And I want to reassure our allies in Japan and South Korea and elsewhere that we have mutual defense treaties and we will honor them. It is essential that America's word be good. And so I know that this campaign has caused some questioning and some worries on the part of many leaders across the globe. I've talked with a number of them. But I want to, on behalf of myself, and I think on behalf of a majority of the American people, say that, our word is good. It's also important that we look at the entire global situation. There's no doubt that we have other problems with Iran, but personally I'd rather deal with the other problems having put that lid on their nuclear program than still to be facing that. And Donald never tells you what he would do. Would he have started a war? Would he have bombed Iran? If he's going to criticize a deal that has been very successful in giving us access to Iranian facilities that we never had before, then he should tell us what his alternative would be. But it's like his plan to defeat ISIS. He says it's a secret plan, but the only secret is that he has no plan. So we need to be more precise in how we talk about these issues. People around the world follow our presidential campaigns so closely, trying to get hints.
This is the presidential debate in VR chat. Great crowd here, as you can see, watching live TV. Very, very good. Love it. I'm not going to say the future because I'm in it now.
But also stand out for bullies, whether they're abroad or at home. We cannot let those who try to destabilize the world and interfere with American interests and security to be given any opportunities at all.
Let's do one thing I'd like to say.
Very quickly.
I will go very quickly, but I will tell you that Hillary will tell you to go to her website and read all about how to defeat ISIS, which she could have defeated by never having it, get going in the first place. Right now, it's getting tougher and tougher to defeat them because they're in more and more places, more and more states.
How's it going, man?
And it's a big problem. And as far as Japan is concerned,
Good. Feeling a bit dry, but
all of our
doing
allies.
good.
But we are losing
Thank you.
billions and billions of dollars. We cannot be the policeman of the world. We cannot protect countries all over the world where they're not paying us what we need.
Overtime. It's an hour and a half.
We need heart, we need a lot of things.
Oh, so it's winding down now?
Yep.
That's the longest 2 minutes of my life.
This is the most surreal thing I'm experiencing right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Holy shit, it's Shinji Yukari.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like tripping balls. Is that real?
What happened?
Shoot, oh my gosh.
And the damn robot.
Ah.
Oh, stamina.
If she does have the stamina, to be president of this country, you need tremendous stamina.
I think there's a bingo question.
Did you ask me a question? Did you ask me a question?
Yeah.
You have to be able to negotiate.
Oh.
Trade deals. You have to be able to negotiate. That's right. With Japan.
Where is it?
I mean, can you imagine we're defending
I like how Hillary's just like,
all of the money
just
they have.
let him spew shit.
Speak to them. Wait.
Oh, dang it, it's not a bingo question.
Play a clip. You have to be able to do, and I don't believe that Hillary has the stamina.
Let's let her respond.
Well, as soon as he travels to 112 countries and negotiates a peace deal, a ceasefire,
Has she coughed yet?
dissidents, an opening of new opportunities in nations around the world, or even spends 11 hours testifying in front of a congressional committee, you can talk to me. That's
Wow. The Clinton Foundation.
We have made so many bad deals during the last.
Oh, that's fine.
But it's bad experience. Whether it's the Iran deal that you're so in love with, where we gave them $150 billion back, whether it's the Iran deal, whether it's anything.
They're finishing it with a,
You almost can't name a good deal.
with a
I
punch.
agree. She's got experience, but it's bad experience. And this country can't.
Is there an after party?
4 years of that kind.
What are we gonna do? Yeah, after party is in America room.
Murga.
Oh my gosh,
We'll
Shinji
go
Yukari.
there right after. We'll just want to
Wait, what? I don't know who's saying that.
and dogs.
Yo.
MJ still on here?
Who has said
Yes.
pregnancy is an inconvenience to employers, who has said women don't don't deserve
What?
equal pay unless they do as good a job as men. And
They're
one of
gonna
the
try to
worst
fight
things
over
he said
last.
was about a
Maybe.
woman in a beauty contest. He loves beauty contests.
Just throwing
promoting
shade.
them and hanging around them.
Yeah.
And he called this woman Miss Piggy. Then he called her Miss Housekeeping because she was Latina. Donald, she has a name.
Where did you find
Her
this?
name
Where
is
did you find
Alicia
this?
Machado,
Where did you find
and
this?
she has become a U.S. citizen, and you can
And it was a razzle.
Whoa.
this November.
Okay, good. Let me just tell you.
Oh, 10 seconds.
It's hitting me with tremendous commercials. Some of it said an entertainment. Some of it said somebody who's been very vicious to
Oh, the nerves.
I said very tough things to her, and I think everybody would agree that she deserves it, and nobody.
Earth O'Donnell?
But you want to know the truth? I was going to say something extremely rough to him.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
Uh-oh.
Bing. Oh. Bingo time.
It's
Bill's infidelity.
It's not nice.
Nope.
She spent hundreds of millions of dollars on negative ads on me. Many
Yeah,
of them
he's an angel.
untrue,
I mean,
untrue, and they're misrepresentations. And I will tell you this, Ruster, it's not nice. And I don't deserve that, but it's certainly not a nice thing that she's done. It's hundreds of millions of ads, and the only gratifying thing is I saw the polls come in today, and with all of that money, over $200 million is spent, and I'm either winning or tied, and I spent practically.
yeah, we're paying for it. The tax dollars.
So my final question to you tonight, are you willing to accept the outcome as the will of the voters, Secretary Clinton?
Well, I support our democracy, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I certainly will support the outcome of this election. And I know Donald's trying very hard to plant doubts about it, but I hope the people out there understand this election's really up to you. It's not about us so much as it is about you and your families and the kind of country and future you want. So I sure hope you will get out
All right.
and vote as though your future depended on it, because I think it does.
Mr. Trump, very quickly, same question. Will you accept the outcome as the will of the voters?
I want to make
Oh my gosh.
America great again. We are a nation that is seriously troubled.
Bingo.
Losing our jobs.
Yes.
The other day, we were deporting 800 people, and perhaps they pressed the wrong button. They pressed the wrong button. Worse than that, it was corruption.
What time is it?
These people
Better not be
There's
3:33.
a chat in the back. I forgot that. Or not. Oh, this is the overflow room.
citizens. And it was 800, and now it turns out it might be 1,800, and they don't even know. Look, here's the story. I want to make America great again. I'm going to be able to do it. I don't believe Hillary will. The answer is, if she wins, I will absolutely support her.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us.
We got a winner.
Our debate for this evening.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of ground. Not everything as I suspected we would.
Lady in red.
Oh man, I missed like most of all of it.
October 9th at Washington University in St. Louis.
95%.
19th at the University of
Okay.
Las Vegas. The conversation will continue. A reminder, the vice presidential debate is scheduled.
Okay, so I'm going to be opening a portal to America. After that, we're going to go to Adam J's super cool party room. It'll make America look like shit, but America is appropriate for first.
Wait, look how
So, let's go there
cringy
first.
this is. Hold on. Look how cringy. The families shaking hands.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Clinton, Bill Clinton.
Oh, jeez, no.
Can you believe this shit? Shaking hands? I know.
I have to. She
Oh,
does
man.
not move well.
Like,
She's like, if I was Bill Clinton, I'd be like,
It's like WWE again.
it's like what?
it's just a
I don't know.
malfunctioning gate. I'm good.
Okay, everybody, center of the room, you'll see a portal for America. That's where the after party is, and then we're heading to this really special room after that.
Special room.
All the shark. In the middle, portal. America. Yeah.
What's still happening?
There you have it. There you have it.
There were times where I didn't understand the point he was making,
as night wore on, became tougher and tougher for Trump, and it exposed his lack of preparation.
Tom Brokaw, win, lose, or draw.
All right, thank you for.
On points. That was not a knockout evening, and people were going to be at home adding up the points. And I think that Hillary's